I'm Anthony.
Welcome to our Blue Soul Wisdom series. We cover different topics in each episode, and they are pretty broad and range from everything from the soul to the void, the Akashic records, some of the ancient sages and mages, and so forth. And we've even been covering some of the parables that Yeshua, otherwise known as Jesus of Nazareth, once said over 2,000 years ago. So today we're going to pick a parable and we're going to ask the Yeshua energy to come through and speak about the parable, what it meant 2,000 years ago and how it can be applicable to modern day.
Oftentimes when I'm reading these parables, I have a lot of questions myself. Exactly what do they mean? And how are they, as Renee said, applicable for today in modern day times? I believe we're going to read from the Gnostic Bible.
Today we're picking from the Gnostic Bible, and this is the Gnostic text of mystical wisdom from the ancient and medieval worlds, and it's edited by Willis Barnstone and Marvin Myers.
Let's call forth the Yeshua energy. 1 second.
You can probably recognize the Ujjayi breath, also known as the ocean breath. Slow everything down to make it easier for a connection to be made.
I am Yeshua of Magdala, and it is an honor to be here in your presence, Gaia.
Thanks for coming through.
Many of the parables that I have said during my time here on the earth realm oftentimes were taken out of context. Nevertheless, they are still here for you to learn from, to think about, to ponder about who you are in this lifetime and how you can find, as Magdala and I always say, your true authentic selves. I know that many of them do not make sense to you, but let's see how we can relate them and you can apply them.
Great. So we're going to read from the Gospel of Thomas from the Gnostic Bible. And we're picking this one just because it's short, sweet, but profound as well. It's number 112, which in this book is page 69. And it reads this. Yeshua said, "Shame on the flesh that depends on the soul, and shame on the soul that depends on the flesh."
Please read the first sentence again.
Shame on the flesh that depends on the soul.
Good. Read the second one, please.
Shame on the soul that depends on the flesh.
Yes. In modern day terms, the flesh is nothing more than this energetic body. In order to understand the soul, you must understand the energetic body. To understand the soul, you must understand the energetic body. One more time. To understand the soul, you must understand the energetic body. To understand the energetic body, you must understand the soul. To understand the energetic body, you must understand the soul. One more time. To understand the energetic body, you must understand the soul. You see, it's vice versa. There is a give and a take. There is a balancing of both. Oftentimes you think that when your soul separates, that it goes into the heavens, but it really doesn't. It goes back to universal consciousness. You think that your soul, but your body is made of flesh, and when it dies, it goes into the earth. Well, it really doesn't. You know where it goes. Back then, I had to explain it that way. Now, let me give you first what it meant for them. My understanding, what I was trying to teach them, is that both the body and the soul are one. Although you see two, they are one. There will always be one. In essence, you understand. Just because this body goes away, at least you perceive it as it does not mean that the soul is separate from it. It really isn't.
But it does disconnect once the physical body leaves this earthly vibration.
It does, but you always have access to it whenever you desire. You can always access your Akash within this earth realm. It never really goes anywhere. You think it does. So what does it mean, shame on you, for thinking that they are separate? Well, shame on you, because you think that you are separate. Back then, they thought that they were separate from God. Shame on them. You're not. Now, I say to you this. You understand that you are not separate from God because you are God. You are not separate from yourself. You are the same. This energetic body is a part of God, part of the soul. Even when the energetic body separates and it goes back to source, you are the source. You are the universal consciousness. You have access to it whenever you desire. So that's really what it means in modern day times and during the ancient times, as you call it, when I walk the earth plane. That's all.
Well, it seems like over 2,000 years ago, and even today, people tend to see themselves as separate. There's a lot of separateness rather than unity consciousness.
Shame on you, then, I say. Shame on you is just an expression. I say to all of you this. There is no shame. There is only love. If you desire to have an experience of being separate, then that too is okay. It is perfect. But you don't need to any longer. Your soul, the divinity of who you are, is not separate from this. It is together with all things. It has always been that way, and it will always be that way. You are your own God and Goddess. See yourself that way. Allow your soul to understand that you are pure and gentle love, and it will always be that way. See the Godness in you.
When we see ourselves as connected to or as one of being part of God, right? Then there's kind of a unity consciousness that takes place in our own auric field, and that is profoundly healing.
That is true, but remember, you are not just a part of God. You are God. You see, back then it was blasphemy to say that you are God, because nobody could be God except God. But God is not someone or something. It is you.
But what about people who are agnostic or don't even believe in the concept of God at all? How do you explain that to them?
I don't. Why would I give a message to those that do not listen anyway? It is their experience not to listen and to be separate. As we have told you, as I have told you, it is all perfect. Are they not good people? Do they not love one another? But they do. Even those that do not believe in the higher self, the God portion of who they are, the divinity of who they are, still are loving people, aren't they?
Well, I think even people who are, practicing physicists and scientists, they do believe in something higher than themselves, the universal consciousness of who we are.
Not all of them. There are some who are atheists. They have no concept of what the higher self is. There are many human beings that do not believe in anything except themselves. Do Buddhists believe in God? No, they don't.
But they do believe in a higher force or a higher sense of purpose, a higher energy.
Yes, they do. In a manner of speaking, they do. And they too are of love. But what about those that have no concept of anything but this? They believe that when this dies, that is it. There is nothing else. That is okay too. I say this to all of you. Whether you believe this is it, then so be it. That is your experience, and that too is of love, and it is perfection. So don't worry. Everything is already taken care of for you. I didn't take care of it for you. It is not necessary to pray to me. I don't wish that you pray to me. I wish that you pray to yourself. For you are the conductors, as your guides say. You are the leaders and the gurus of your own soul. Pray to you, for you are God.
Well, humanity, right? As a species, we are great manifestors.
You are. You are great manifestors. That is what you do as a species. It is not necessary to manifest gods and goddesses, really, unless you desire them. I was not here to create another religion. I was only here to tell you that God exists within you. That the soul and this body are one. Two become one. They are not separate. Shame on you who thinks that the soul and the body are separate. All life is precious. All beings are precious. All is divine. And with that, I will end our discussion. Thank you for receiving me, Gaia. Thank you, Anthony, for having me come. I am honored to be here. Peace, love, grace, and gratitude be with all of you, and share these qualities of who you are with others.
So as this energy steps back, disconnects a little bit, it essentially allows Anthony's soul to shine brighter and to reconnect to the here and now. Anthony returns to the here and now. You bet. Thanks so much for joining us today to discuss a parable.
I really enjoy discussing the parables and having him come through, or her, or they come through and discussing these parables, because oftentimes when I read them, I don't even understand what they mean. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again.
We'll see you soon.